Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is old Back Yonder coming to you from downtown Falmouth, Kentucky. Now, I'm going to tell you it's in the midst of summer here, late July. And I don't know where the summer's gone, but I'll tell you, it seems like it was only yesterday it was in the spring. Here it is, the heat will be long, the cool leaves will be falling. Now, this is Miss Daisy here. I've had Miss Daisy for probably 20-some years. I got her about the time that movie came out, Driving Miss Daisy, and I worked with her, teaching her to drive, so that's been her name ever since. Now, Miss Daisy is about 25 years old. For a lot of people, you think, well, that's not too old. But for a horse, it's 1 to 4. So Miss Daisy, Miss Daisy, we were supposed to do that out of town. But John Steele's got a good job. So anyhow, Miss Daisy, if you said 25 years times 4, that's 100. And I'm right behind her. So anyhow, Miss Daisy, sometimes people says, Marvin, Back Yonder said, how many miles you get per gallon? Well, what I do, I don't keep count, but when she gets hungry, I just stop along the roadside. If there's a good patch of clover, I just let her eat. But anyhow, we got a nice group of folks here from the Pendleton County Courthouse, a very historic old building. I'll tell you, probably the county was organized, I think, around 1798. Now that's a long time, and it was derived from when it was organized, part of Bracken County and part of Campbell County. And the old building has a lot of history in it. The records, and I was fortunate enough to be circuit clerk here for going on 20 years, and I kind of researched a lot of the old records, and most of the records started about 1808. And I guess it took about 10 years for everything to get kind of synchronized. But anyhow, the records are very interesting. They go back, I've seen the name Daniel Boone, I've seen the signature Simon Kenton, George Rogers Clark, and you name it, and it almost is there. Everybody likes history, and they think history happens somewhere else. But I'll guarantee you, in every community, there's a lot of good history that's around. And when you start out, as far as history is concerned, at the courthouse records, now our records went back to 1808. They're now sent to archives there in Frankfurt. But I got to thinking one time, you could ordinarily go in and you'd have to climb up on a ladder somewhere to knock the dust off, and the old papers was very brittle. And one afternoon, I can still remember that the old pizza factory caught on fire. Just fortunate that the wind was blowing in the opposite direction, or otherwise this courthouse would have been going up in smoke and all the records. I caught a little bit of heat, but that was okay. Talking about Falmouth, Falmouth is actually older than Pendleton County. It was founded, I think, in probably 1795. One of the main assets was the forks of the Licking River. You could almost take a rock and I could throw it over that way and it would almost hit it. Back in my younger days, of course, not now. But anyhow, that was one of the tributes because it was a geographical point where pioneers met. And also the geographical point was that both the North Fork and the South Fork meets here. They flow north. That was a great part of the, I'm sure, the Underground Railroad. Also the Ohio River that comes around the Maysville, even though it starts out in Pittsburgh and ends way down the beach of the Mississippi down to the end of Kentucky. But it flows north also, coming around Kentucky. So that was a great, great asset, that forks of the Licking River. One thing about that I've learned as I get older, it's like the great poet Thornton Wilder says, whenever you come near the human race, there's layers and layers of nonsense. Now, a lot of folks will say, well, are people better now than they were back in pioneer days? I'm sure we got different opinions. My thinking is probably we're about the same. The only difference is the population is kind of great. So anyhow, you have to be the judge on that when you start talking about whether people are good or bad or what have you. I've witnessed a lot of trials. Now they have a new courthouse now for their law and their trials and all that stuff. There's these ladies still work at the county clerk's office. We still have the sheriff's office, PDA, jailer, and judge executive, and all of those things. And some of the cases that I've witnessed are very, very interesting, and I thought I would relay two for you. And I hope you like this. Now, one of them I'm going to have to use a little word that I don't try not to use, but John Wayne on television, I notice he uses it and gets by on the Western, so probably I will too, because I think it'll illustrate the little story I'm going to tell you. I was here when they started the domestic violence. That was when two people lived together, whether they were husband or wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or ex or what have you. One of them would knock the devil out of the other one, and what happened, they would come in and file a complaint, and you had to listen to that. Most of the time, it was the woman filing domestic violence against the guy. Well, in this case, the guy was about 6'2" or 6'3", very muscular, handsome, athletic, had a flat top. And his wife was a little gal. She weighed about 95 to 100 pounds, I guess. Looked quite attractive, I might say. The judge listened to the case. This big guy had scratches on his arms and his face, and he looked like where he had been hit in the eye. They both gave their renditions, and I was on the bench recording on that particular day. The judge finally told me, he says, "Mr. Sullivan, turn that machine on. I don't want this on the record." Anyhow, I turned it off, and he looked at this guy, and he says, "Sir, I'm going to ask you a question. Here you are, a big guy, a strong man, and you let this..." The judge asked him, said, "Sir, why do you let this little knock you and beat you around?" The old boy scratched his head for a minute, and he said, "Well, Your Honor, it doesn't hurt too bad, and it seems like it gives her so much pleasure." So in other words, it didn't hurt anything. The judge said, "Case dismissed." Another one I have to tell you, we had a jury trial, and the judge at that time was a guy named Judge John Laird, Harrison County, a good judge, kind of older like judge at the time, gruff and what have you, a real nice fellow. I enjoyed him, and a good judge also. We had a 3-day trial. On the third day, about 9 o'clock in the morning, the trial ended, and the jury was just about ready to start their decisions. The judge put them in a room, and they discussed things, and I was a little bit nosy. I always have been that way. I got my seat out near where the door was and sat there, and I could kind of listen to what was going on in the room. And the acoustics upstairs are very, very good, some of the best. For courtrooms, I've never been in another one that they were any better. So the jury met, the sheriff and I took them out to lunch. They came back, started deliberations again, met all afternoon, about 5 o'clock. We took them to supper. And finally, the judge gave them a little pep talk. He says, "Now, ladies and gentlemen, I can't force you to make a decision on this. But anyhow, what might happen, I want you to try your best to get along and to make a decision so that we don't have to go through this whole trial again." So anyhow, after supper, they went back in there and met for another hour. And the foreman of the jury wrote a little note and says, "Judge, we can't make a decision." So anyhow, the judge says, "Well, we're going to have to call the jury in and dismiss it, and I guess try the case again." I was right there at the corner of the room when the jury came out. Now this was the part where it gets a little off color. But anyhow, I heard this man, he was the first one come out. He says, when he came out, he kind of whispered in a way, but I heard him. He says, "I'll tell you, there's 11 of the contrariest son of a bitches I've ever seen in my life." So that's kind of the way the human nature is that we have. It's also sometimes in probate court, you see the best and the worst in people. You see brothers and sisters who've loved one another for years, and then finally when it comes down to settlements, then you have the sibling rivalry. So when you ask me, says, what do I think that is, I really don't know. In other words, that life is more complicated now than it was 50 or 75 years ago. So I'll leave you with a little, those are just some thoughts, and I would encourage you, when you read history, you'll learn so much about yourself. And you learn about history. I've heard kids say, and I used to say it myself, I don't care whether George Washington threw this point across the Potomac River or not. What does that got to do with me? But if you know about George Washington, you'll know a lot about yourself. So here's a little song, Glory, Glory, Hallelujah. This was written during the Civil War. The South song was Dixie, and this lady says the North has got to have a song, so she wrote Glory, Glory, Hallelujah.